Hey everyone, this is Zandu Outdoors. I'm out here biking to the garden today. I'm hoping to finish up my cleanup. This is part 2 of fall 2025 garden cleanup. Oh, going through the mud. Whoa! Let's see what I can get done. We are back at it again with part 2 of the fall garden cleanup. It's a lot of work. We still have stuff to do, but it could be worse. We could be like the woodpecker whose job it is to smack their head into dead wood. You know, I think a lot of people don't like biking because of the hills associated when you're biking. There's gonna be some hills. But the best advice I ever got was when you encounter a hill, you just gotta keep pedaling. And then you'll get up that hill. Easy peasy, and then you get to go downhill, and that's pretty fun as well. Well, it's been about an hour and we finally made it to the garden. It's really not looking too bad, all in all. Based on where we started at, this does not look too bad at all. These tomatoes look a lot nicer. That area looks a lot nicer. This lettuce is still doing its thing. What's strange is this Swiss chard here is my last Swiss chard. I actually chopped it down and it didn't do anything for months, and then right when I stopped gardening, it said, I'll come back, I'll do my thing. I'll just leave it, I guess. But I can't be resting on my laurels. Just because I biked here, just because I did good work the other day, doesn't mean my work is done. Gotta start again. If something is worth doing, it's worth doing right. I could leave my garden as it is, but it just doesn't look up to my standards. So what I'm doing here is I'm scalping the first inch or so of topsoil off, just in where I'm going to lay down my paths. And then after I've scalped off all that dirt, I'm going to throw it right into the garden beds. And then I'm going to apply a mulch layer on my paths. So I'm going to give my garden beds a little bit fresh dirt. And I'm also going to be mulching my paths all in the same move, really. It's very efficient. I'm using my brain. I'm learning. And you can learn a lot while you're gardening. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There's a lot to learn about gardening. But I got to admit, my favorite part is definitely like the digging in the dirt, doing the muscle stuff and the hee-raw and, the meathead kind of stuff. That's the really exciting stuff to me. But if you're not thinking smart, then you're going to end up getting hurt. You're going to be doing too much of that physical work because you didn't put enough mental work in. So you really got to find a balance there, I've learned, between you're going to be digging in the dirt. Yeah, you're going to be wheelbarrowing a bunch of mulch. But if you don't do the mental work, then you're not going to harvest anything. You're not going to have any successes, really. All you're doing is playing in the dirt. If you just want to go play in the dirt, that's fine, but maybe invest in a sandbox or something. A garden is full of living things, and those living things will live or die depending on the care that you give them. So you have to pay it in mind. You have to think about your garden, otherwise it won't get the care that it needs. Say you plant a rare or really exotic plant in a zone that isn't its natural place, without thinking about what you need to do to ensure that plant survives, it won't survive. It's so easy to not think about the garden, and that's what happened to me this summer, is that life got in the way, to put it simply, and I just wasn't thinking about the garden more than oh gosh, I gotta go to the garden. That was the thought I was having about my garden. But I wasn't thinking about, oh, I need to plant this and this and this by this date to ensure that they can grow before the last frost, or yada, yada, yada. I got to cover this, or I got to take this in, or I got to harvest that. I wasn't thinking about any of this because life just got in the way. So if you're not going to think about it, you're not going to have the successes that you want. And ultimately, you're going to have more failures. So I just finished up a quick lunch. It's getting a little bit later in the day. I think I got one more wheelbarrow of wood chips, and then I'll be good on my path, and then I'm gonna head out, call it a day, bike on back home. So let's get to it. Now, failures aren't the worst thing in the world because you can grow for them. And gardening, unless you're gardening to feed your family, is fairly low stakes, but still you want to have some wins, not just losses continuously. Losses continuously will make you want to quit the hobby, and that's not what I'm trying to do with gardening. I am shutting down on my second year of gardening. but I look forward to many years ahead of me. And now I know if you fertilize your tomatoes, you're going to get so many baby tomatoes. But also, if it's not like a warm spring, you're not going to get very many big tomatoes. You're always learning stuff. And I look forward to learning more. All right, so we got it all mulched up. The paths are looking good. Me and Danny, you can't even tell who's got it better. And I'm out of water. Sun's getting real low in the sky. I got a bike back. It's time to turn over the buckets and head out. So we're gonna ride back to the home and we're gonna call it a day. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna have a few more clips from my bike ride. But if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. So here's just like a quick walkthrough of the garden. It's all finished up. I should probably get like a flat shovel to nicely edge my beds, but I kind of moved things around a little bit, expanded some paths. I added a little bit more standing space, and I did keep the keyhole. I added a path through the front bed as well. But I got a lot out of the garden this year. It was another successful year of gardening. I learned a lot, but there's still lots to learn, and I'm excited to get back at it next year. So tune in for that. And thank you for watching.